This really sucks. I've been trying to stay positive and upbeat during this time of unemployment, a very unexpected time of unemployment, but staring down the barrel of doing a monthly budget with zero W-2 income is quite scary. This is certainly the first time in my adult life that I've had to budget like this, so we'll talk more about some of the details at the end, but let's just get into the numbers for now. So this is what my monthly budget normally looks like, with the exception of this one line I added here for unemployment income. So we certainly need to make some adjustments here, so we'll just go through it like we normally do, starting at the top with income. Clearly I need to change W-2 income to 0. Now, unemployment. I have been on the ball with submitting for unemployment, so hopefully that all goes well. In fact, just this morning I submitted my weekly requirement to qualify for unemployment benefits, and I guess I just kind of wait to hear back and make sure that the documents I submitted are accurate, and then I should get my first unemployment benefit on Friday the 2nd, as long as everything looks okay and everything's processed on time and all of that. So given that there's 4 Fridays in February, I just based it off the weekly amount that I'm supposed to be getting, which is $427 a week, which times 4 just comes out to $1,708 for February. Again, as long as I get paid every week the same amount. So we're just going to hope for the best on that. And then the next is my rental income. I don't actually know what it'll be for February. It may be vacant for February. So actually I am going to put that at 0 because it will likely be vacant. My tenant is moving out at the end of January, any day now. And then they'll start listing it for rent for a new tenant. So that's never usually a quick turnaround, so it might be vacant in March as well. I don't know. But for February, I'm guessing it'll be vacant, so that'll probably be $0 coming in. The next category is just YouTube. I just have a goal of meeting the $100 payout threshold. And then support, I just have it 0. I don't have any goal for that, but there is always at least a kind-hearted person or a handful that support me directly, and I'm so immensely appreciative of you guys. But either way, for income that I'm fairly certain I have coming in, it's about $1,800. So now let's go down to the expenses. Oh yeah, I did have to add an expense column or row for this month because I have to pay for my health insurance premiums out of pocket while I'm on a furlough. My furlough is expected to last up to 90 days. So I can continue to pay for my premium benefits during this time. I just have to pay for them out of pocket, which are $392 a month. So I did add that in, but we'll just go top to bottom. Rent, that's not changing, $1,555. And then of course the health insurance, $392 a month. Mobility training. Unfortunately, February was going to be the 2nd month with that. I was pretty amped to start that in January, especially after I wrenched my back, late December, early in the month. I don't remember when, but I got to trim the fat. I have no choice. That has to be put on hold for now, so that's got to go. Hopefully that's something I can pick back up later on once I do get reemployed or my employer needs me back, which I don't have a great feeling about. I have no idea. Electricity, I've been budgeting $60. It's probably right around there. My internet is $65 a month. Mohila, my student loan servicer, actually I do need to change that because I'm unemployed. I have a $0 payment right now. Thank God. Gym's $15 a month. That's not a trim the fat item. That's not going anywhere. Same with Netflix. I know there would be some people that argue, but that's the one and only streaming service I pay for, which I'm going to keep an eye on because, to be perfectly frank, I've just been watching YouTube way more than any streaming service. So we'll see. But I do have my parents and my brother on my account as well. They always have been. So we'll see. Whatever. Food and household. $500 is my normal monthly budget for that. But for February, oh my God, not percent. $50. That's what I'm giving myself. That is so drastic, but obviously trimming the fat certainly means no delivery, no going out to eat, and on top of that, I'm going to challenge myself to make 0 trips to the grocery store in February. I am going to do a full-on freezer and pantry challenge. I am allowing myself $50 just because I do want to hit the farmer's market on the 6th. I'm also endeavoring this year to eat local, seasonal, sustainable, so I don't want to give up on that. And so I do want to hit the farmer's market to load up on seasonal vegetables that will get me through this time, like potatoes, carrots, onions, the root vegetables that farmers nearby still have, and some greens even. So I will be allowing myself some fresh produce, but by and large, I'm going to be doing my best to eat out of my pantry and freezer. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but from 500 to 50, so we'll see. Gas and car wash, $100. Oh my God. I want to lower that to 50, but man, I think I will, but not leaving the house for a whole day is okay for me sometimes, but that gets really hard on my mental faculties. So luckily the gym is just 1.5 miles up the road. Same with the walking trail that I like to hit a lot when it's nice enough out. And so I don't need to be driving all over, but again, I do not want to lose my mind through this process. And $50 doesn't exactly go far, but I'd say that's like a tank of gas. Can I do just 1 tank of gas for a month though? It's a chat. You know what? 50. Let's see what happens. Pet supplies. Ooh. I'm going to leave it at 50. I don't know. Whoops. Invest. Guys. If we can't, we can't. Okay? Is what it is. Well, shit. I don't want to not donate either. Ooh, that one's hard. We can reevaluate as the month goes, I guess, but like, what choice do I have? Savings. Spending. Okay, you guys know this is year 2 of a low buy year for me, which I'm loving. There's no reason why I need to be spending really much of anything. I have more than I could ever want or need as far as like personal material items in my life. Certainly don't need to be buying shit when I'm not employed, so let's just... let's just hope nothing creeps up. Which February it shouldn't, but March and April are looking scarier because March brings my birthday month, which means I've got to register my car, and then in April my car insurance premium is due for the year, but it's okay. We have sinking funds for those, but ooh, this is friggin' panic-inducing because trimming the fat, I still have roughly $2,260 in the outgoing, where $1,800 is my incoming. So no matter what, we're dipping into the savings here, and that sucks. That sucks. This is not accurate though. My student loan savings, I forgot to update that. Where are we at now? I think we're just $11 shy of $35,000. So let's fix that. That means we're at, I think, whatever. Not that it matters, but obviously, man, going backwards sucks so friggin' much. As much as I prepared for this, like, this is not okay for me. This is not okay. But that's it. It's not exactly glamorous or exciting to look at, but it's different and it sucks. It sucks. But that's what I'll be working with for February. So let's touch on the freezer and pantry challenge real quick. No time like the present, I guess. So this past few days, I've been bulking up on just a few items that I've needed, like backup condiments and, I don't know, some flour and rice and dry goods that I was almost out of, just to help get me through this next, well, certainly at least the month of February, but it should carry me beyond that as well, just because we have no idea what things are going to be looking like in the future, right? I might as well use this time of where I'm not shopping so much to challenge myself to stay out of the grocery stores completely, work my way through some of the foods that have been hanging around in my pantry and cupboards, freezer, whatever. I don't know, it's just good to do that every year anyway, I think, just to keep it up on expiration dates. But I'm going to try my best to do that. I should not need anything other than, again, some maybe some fresh produce. And I'm also trying to grow greens in my windowsill because, in my opinion, those are the most expensive little shits in the grocery store, greens and herbs, and they're also tend to be very plastic intensive. So small windowsill survival garden, I guess. Not that that was the intention when I planted it, but it just kind of happened to, the sequence of events dictated that. But anyway, so that's the food scene. Now, I just want to talk about unemployment in general for a second. Holy crap. Like, so my employer, they told me Thursday the 18th, that evening, like, I was already done for work for the day, but they messaged me and asked if I could jump on a quick phone call, and I was, like, instantly furloughed right then and there. Put up your away message on your email, shut the computer down, do not report to work, don't turn the computer back on. Like, so sudden, but they had also, they didn't pay a week behind. Like, they paid me, our next payday was the 20th, the 19th, sorry, the next day. But I'd already gotten paid for that week. They don't do like a work and then you get paid for it the next week. You get paid right then for that week before you even submit your timesheet. So I got paid the day I got furloughed. But I'd also already got paid for that week that I'd worked. I hope that's making sense. So I didn't have a paycheck coming in the following week, which would have been last week. So the 19th was the last day I got paid. And I did everything in my power to be on the ball and jump on applying for unemployment, getting my account set up, doing what I had to do to file my initial claim and get the ball rolling. So I tried to do that Friday, the next day after I got furloughed, but it said you have to wait until your first full week. So I waited till Monday, and I did. Filed the claim, and I think I got assigned to a particular caseworker because the same lady has called me a couple times just to verify some info and things like that. So I think I was probably assigned to her as a case. And so that made me feel good. It made me feel like the state is really on the ball on their end as well. I know that's not the case because when she called and said I can either apply for New Hampshire or Massachusetts, since I'm a New Hampshire resident, but my employer is in Massachusetts, and I did perform work in Massachusetts, so I would have been eligible for more than twice as much per week for Massachusetts unemployment. But she said they have like a 6 to 8 week backlog for even getting your initial claim filed. So in my mind, I said, I'm just going to stick with New Hampshire. Luckily, I have some savings, so I wasn't as concerned about the higher amount of money. Plus, that's a 6 to 8 week time frame before I even can maybe start the process with them. That just did not feel comfortable for me at all. I hope to not still be unemployed in 6 to 8 weeks. So I stuck with New Hampshire, even though it's less money. I feel fairly confident I should get paid this coming Friday, which will be the 2nd. Is that correct? I think. So with me being on the ball and the state being on the ball, that's still a 2-week window without pay. What the hell did people do in that situation if they're already living paycheck to paycheck? What the, this is, and I understand that's normal. And again, I also understand this state, this case, this instance, the state feels on the ball. What the hell do you do if the state is backed up or has a backlog like Massachusetts of 6 to 8 weeks? What do you do? That is so panic-inducing just thinking about it. And I feel so friggin' grateful to not be in that situation. I genuinely, what the hell do people do? That is so frightening. Even as it stood, if say the day they furloughed me, right then and there, I said, oh shit, I don't have the extra to go add a little back stock to my pantry and get myself set up to prepare for this situation or to go into this situation. What if right then and there that's it and your pantry isn't necessarily fully stuffed and ready to go? Oh my God. All I can think of is shitty, scary things like payday loans and pay advances that have insane interest rates and just more cost of using money that you don't have yet, and which feels very credit card-y, and just knowing how hard it is to get out of the loop of paycheck to paycheck, let alone when you're adding more things that have astronomical interest rates that make it so much harder to get the hell out of that. I don't know. This is causing so many thoughts for me. It just is heartbreaking for the people that are not in any way, shape, or form prepared for this kind of shit. And I've gone through periods without pay before, because there's always that kind of transition time, like after grad school, then, you start a job, or I don't know, one time I wanted to move states and I had a plan with someone. We were going to move to X amount of state, this particular state. And so we prepared and gave landlord notices and work notices a month in advance in preparation. And then just a couple weeks before move date, boom, that person didn't want to move anywhere with me all of a sudden. So it left me in a bind with job and housing, and I had to move back home and with my parents. And thank God that was an option for me at the time. I don't remember how many years ago that was at this point, but it was 7 years ago, I guess, before I started at the nuke plant. But I just wasn't worried about housing then, because again, my parents had the bedroom and didn't mind, and so it worked out. But damn, this is my first experience where as an adult on my own, even though I could move back in with my parents and my brothers offered, and I have options for housing if needed, but at almost 39 years old, it feels wildly inappropriate now. Just I don't mean to laugh because it's so not funny, but oh my God. I don't know where I was going with that, but it just didn't feel so scary at the time, I guess, 7 years ago when this happened to me, because I don't know. It's probably just some of the emotion of the rejection feeling from the employer, I guess. I don't know. It just really sucks. And I don't want to continue operating, obviously, at a 600-ish a month loss. No, yeah, 500-ish a month loss, and that's with zero extra spending. That doesn't feel good, even though I have a solid amount of emergency fund savings, and I'm okay, and I know I'll find a job, and whatever. I'm trying to stay upbeat and use this opportunity as the big life pivot that I've probably been needing, but not allowing myself to think about or really fully embrace, just because it does feel scary to transition away from a job, even if you don't really love it. I don't know. Not that I'm trying to transition away from it, but obviously you guys know I'm fighting for financial independence, and obviously this takes things in the wrong direction, which also sucks. Like, it's just been such a hard fight to get to this point. The hardest fight being just getting out of paycheck to paycheck living, but and so maybe that's the scary bit, is it feels like I'm going back to less than paycheck to paycheck living. But y'all, I don't know. How the hell did people do this if they're already living paycheck to paycheck? This is so frightening. Oy, I don't know. Thank you guys for listening. I'm gonna make a whole separate video about the freezer and pantry challenge for those who are interested. Obviously, I know that is not going to be for everyone, but for those who are, thank you guys for listening. We'll see how this goes.